Communications presents To the Survivors, Episode 8, titled Date Rape, written by Biola Olatunde, inspired by the book To the Survivors by Robert Uttaro. Hello, in my days, we did not date. We read about it in the best romantic novels of the time. We were courted. But today, young persons date. What are the rules of the game? What are the expectations? Are there guidelines, rules of dating we should know? Welcome to the Survivors.
Very lovely in that dress.
Thank you, Mrs. Roberts. Going for dinner with Dominic after work.
He's going to be having problem eating his dinner.
I hope he does not have problem proposing.
Like that, eh?
I really can't tell, but he has been giving me that kind of look, Mrs. Roberts. And he asked me to dress sexy because it was going to be a special night.
Well, looks like he may be thinking seriously about you then. I should imagine so, by the number of calls he makes to the office.
Maybe I'll have something to tell Mom when I get home tonight.
Yay! Fingers crossed for you.
May I ask you something, Mrs. Roberts?
Sure, go ahead.
Will my future husband mind that I will not be a virgin on my wedding night? Like Dominic, for instance.
It is an old tradition, and I doubt today's man is not putting much insistence on that. What is important is whether he loves and respects you, you know?
I guess you're right.
Yeah, you look very anxious, Kate. Has your boyfriend talked that way with you?
Not really. He talks funny sometimes, but looks at me funny. I feel he's checking me out.
Just like you check him out too. You must have a pretty good idea what kind of person he is now.
Not 100%, Mrs. Roberts.
That is why it is a date, isn't it? You learn to know more about him.
I guess so.
I have to go over to see Inspector Edwards, okay? Please give Akin the files I left on my table. You need some of the information.
Yes, Mrs. Roberts.
How do you feel now? I'm sorry.
Please just go.
I said I was sorry. I assumed you would like it. Girls love it when you are rough with them. You are not exactly a virgin. I could tell.
Leave. If you don't, I'll scream the house down.
Hey, Kate! So, did you set a wedding date?
Good morning, Mrs. Roberts.
Good morning, Kate. You have been crying.
Ma, I only have tears in my eyes.
Okay. Well, he did not propose. It is alright, Kate. Maybe he's not ready yet.
He proposed to come to my flat. Made himself comfortable on the setting. I was excited. Got us drinks. And then he asked for a bottle of minerals. And I went to fetch it. When I came back, he had mixed our drinks. I took my own drink. And then I felt myself go limp. I watched him as he tore my clothes. And he raped me. I could not move. My mind screamed, but my lips were sealed. When it was over, he sat and smoked. He said he was concerned about the way I acted. I was sick. He said I should not worry, that I would not get pregnant, that the drink was just to energize me. That was when I slapped him. He was shocked and immediately apologized. He kept apologizing until I threatened to scream. How do I make myself dead?
My Lord!
Did the Lord create me extra stupid?
No, I am so sorry.
Why be sorry for my stupidity? When he asked to come to my flat, I knew what may happen. I am not a virgin. He knew that. I am 25 years old and he's not my first boyfriend.
Oh Lord, Kate, none of that was a license to rape you.
I can't even prove anything, Mrs. Roberts. That was my boyfriend that I knowingly invited to my flat after a date.
No argument justifies rape. It is worse to be drugged than raped. Sorry. Do you know the name of the drug he put in your drink?
No, Mrs. Roberts. They didn't even suspect he was into drugs.
That is another terrible consequence of today's society. Drug and rape.
I am going to kill him, No matter how long it takes me. Taking him to the police will not be okay for him. I am going to plan my own revenge. I'm going to kill him, and he's going to look forward to going to hell by the time he's through. He has sent me several texts begging me and saying how sorry he is. But I will not know how sorry he is until I'm through with him.
First things first, I think you should visit the doctor. Maybe he will tell you what type of drug and then counsel you.
What other counsel for stupidity, Mrs. Roberts?
Please. Just visit the doctor. Here, take this paper and show it to him.
Oh Lord. What do I tell my mom?
She doesn't know yet.
She went to Ibadan. She's coming back tomorrow.
Let us take one problem at a time. So, that is it, Banji.
I want to get old quickly.
That is not an answer. What do you do when you are date raped?
And the stupid gentleman drugs his girl as well. Is that what happens these days?
Well, for some of them, I guess.
Hey, I am scared for my daughter.
Hang on, Banji. We're not talking about your daughter.
Remember her old school?
So, what has that got to do with the present situation?
The science teacher has been accused of exploiting a girl in JSS 1.
What? How did you know?
Ogene told me. The abused JSS 1 girl is his daughter.
Wow!
Came from worrying if Kike told us all she might have gone through. I am worried to know what kind of education is going on in these schools.
More need for alertness, I think. I am still trying to understand the date rape of Kate.
Did the information age expose these things? Was it all here before? How long have we been living in hell?
Take it easy, Banji. I thought you would give me answers and you only compound the problem.
But what is wrong in having sex education classes in schools?
On date rape?
They can have dating guidelines,
Like, don't drink from a mixed drink when you don't know what was mixed in it?
Yeah, and until you are sure, have a chaperone close by.
Chaperone! In the 21st century. Haba Banji.
What is wrong in having an elderly person close by if you are entertaining a gentleman in your house, Tino? If Kate's mother had been close by,
They would simply have gone to another place. Dominic's place or hotel.
Hey.
Think again, Chaperone.
Don't dress sexy. It inflamed him.
They already were dates. Like, she trusted him. Besides, he asked her to dress sexy.
That is my point. She should have been suspicious.
She was expecting a proposal.
What will she do now?
That is my frustration. See, you are not being helpful at all.
Don't chew my head. I am not Papa Dominic.
I am sorry, Banji. I'm just very frustrated right now.
What is the legal redress for Kate? Can she go to the police?
For what? A girl goes on a date willingly with her boyfriend. He takes her home and she invites him, and then he drugs and rapes her. Tell that to the police and you will now hear him laugh his head off. He will scratch his head wondering which is more stupid, either the girl coming to report or him not taking advantage of it himself. Wake up, Banji. We live in Nigeria, not a civilized society.
So why did she report to you?
You don't expect me to answer that too.
You look very frustrated.
If only I could just have a few minutes alone with just one male member of this society.
I need to go out right now.
What? I am just trying to...
I understand. Why drug and rape? The girl is just helpless. Where is the fun?
That is the fun. It is selfish, cruel, and utterly depraved.
You're listening to the program To the Survivors. Now, my panel. Where is the fun in a date rape? A girl understands that she's on a date with you. She has trusted you. You are friends. You go out on a date. And like we used to say in the old country, come in for a coffee and you say yes. Now, coffee leads to drugs and rape. What do we have to say? On my panel today, the usual, Ayokunle Ajishefe, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Kunle Oluyide, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Serena Grace, welcome to the panel.
Thank you very much.
And our new pretty panelist, Dunsi Uluwadari, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to ask any one of you, who has been date raped before? Anyone here has an answer? Have you ever gone out on a date? Let me ask the girls. Dunsi, have you gone out with a boyfriend and you regretted going out with him?
Well, no.
Serena Grace?
Well, yeah. I have actually gone on a date before and I actually regretted it because there was this drink there was alcohol in it. But it was very sweet. Guys, it was just going drum, 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 till my eyes started seeing things. I started seeing five, but because I'm a girl, I just went outside to take a cab immediately. I didn't even know how to describe the road to the house, but I ran away. I wasn't date raped. I just could have just imagined the kind of things that could have happened to me.
I understand that drum alcohol was a mixture of coke and some drug they call roofies. It makes a girl submissive to whatever suggestions the man has, but there's something girls don't notice. When you are given that drug, you don't ever get pregnant, neither with the man or with any man you meet after. Even when you get married properly, legally, you are infertile because the man is making sure you don't come around to say there was accidental pregnancy. But he has not only looked after himself, he has made sure no man will ever be able to claim to be the father. Yes. It's not something to laugh at. It's something that I find very, very alarming. It is called roofies. I don't know what was mixed with the drug. I have another person in the house. I will ask, maybe he has heard about it. But Kule, what do you have to tell us? You're Kule this time.
Okay.
I know there are two Kules here, so I want to separate them.
Seriously, I'm embittered. I think that's the word. To hear people trust someone and then you discover that the trust is betrayed because it's betrayal of trust. When you trust someone enough to say, well, I trust you and I believe you're not going to do anything that I will not agree with. And then we get there, you now twist things and make me do things I would not
change the rules in the middle of the game.
You understand? It's bitter, it's saddening, it's crazy. And I think people like that should be dealt with seriously. They should be dealt
How
with.
do they do that?
How?
Yes. What can Kate do?
A couple of weeks back, we were discussing, and Blessing was talking about countries where even when you agree to have sex, and then you don't use, probably you agree to use protection
condom, and suddenly the boy doesn't want
suddenly the guy is
called rape.
changing, it's still rape. So
now, like Tinu said, that is in a civilized society.
So we need to grow up ourselves in Nigeria, or Nigeria needs to grow up and address issues like this. We cannot live in a community where some people feel embittered against the other people. It's not going to work for us. It won't help the society at large, because whatever thing we don't set right now, it's going to affect us in future. And that's the part of what is still affecting us in the country. All the things we didn't set right in the past is what is affecting us now. So if we begin to leave people's emotion and they are being battered and destroyed, and we feel, well, maybe they agreed to go on a date, anything can happen since they have agreed, and we don't look into the details of the things that transpired, it is wrong. I also understand that some ladies could use it against a guy, but those yes, I've had a scenario like that
the girl used it against the boy.
Yes, the girl said the girl agreed
to be raped.
No, to have sex with the guy. She was a virgin.
This is a different one.
No, let me finish the story. Agreed to have sex with the guy. She's a virgin, and after that there was blood, and immediately afterwards, before she cleaned up, her friends came in and saw it, and in order to protect or cover up for herself, she told her friend that she was raped, and the friends propelled her to go to the police station and accuse the guy of rape. It was in the course of the investigation, because the guy too came from an influential family. The course of the investigation, they discovered that the two of them agreed, and the girl later now confessed that they both agreed to have sex, but she wanted to cover up. So if, for example, the guy was from a less influential family, you understand, you know what they could have done to the guy. Nobody will listen to his story. So, but
That's a twisted form of situation.
I know.
Kate went on a date with a boyfriend she had always known.
That's what I'm saying, that we need to still...
He drugged her so that she went limp. She described going limp and then watched as she was raped. I mean, she watched her own rape take place. We understand when Barrister Toyin came here and she said if they cannot prove lacerations, that they cannot prove a rape case. There is no laceration in this instance. She's an unwilling participant. She invited the boy to the house, because she knew what was going to happen. She was prepared for sex, but she was not ready for rape. That is the difference. Don't say, I thought you were signaling you wanted to say something.
Yeah. According to what she said earlier on, sometimes it's going back to the old method of relationship can still work. That's courtship. Because at times, even people with trust has gone out of most relationships nowadays.
It's now out of fashion.
Like, I was with a friend some few weeks back and I was held down, so I had to sleep over. And the condition was that we were going to sleep in separate rooms. But then, over the time, because I was busy on my laptop working on something, we ended up sleeping in the same room on the same bed. And at the middle of the night, started disturbing me for sex. But thank God that we are not the only ones in the room. So there was this confidence that if I shout once, the next door neighbor was going to come in. Now, I had it at the back of my mind when I wanted to go there that something of such might happen. Most ladies do have that initial instinct, but then they just look over it. They just think they can go away with it. So most times when you're not confident going to a place, please don't. When you don't trust your partner, please think twice before visiting or sleeping over. Thanks.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Kunle of Ludex, have you ever had to date rape a girl?
Never. I haven't.
Everybody's laughing.
And I don't want to think of that because I don't want to do what I don't want to do.
So what will you say was the situation with Kate? And if you put in mind what Dunsi has just said, what do you think should have been the precaution that a girl should take?
First of all, when we consider this kind of situation, Yoruba would say, so what is bad is bad. Rape is rape. It doesn't matter how it has come or how
by any
it has
definition.
been done by any definition. Rape is rape. And I think in a kind of relationship we have today, we have things that are very common when it comes to, okay, we are going out on a date and we want to do this. And I think there should be a kind of mutual interaction. Okay, this is our relationship. This is where we are heading. We don't have this, we shouldn't have this, we don't entertain this, we don't entertain this. Probably if that, Dominic said, I think you would like it. I never knew you wouldn't like it. So probably, maybe he had it in mind.
Why did he ask her first? Should I drug you before
should I drug? So I think there should be a kind of mutual agreement. Okay, this is what we should do. These are the yardstick we need to cleave to if we are getting on with this relationship. And I think concerning the case of Kate, she needs to take legal actions.
Before we start looking at the legal actions she can take, let me ask young people around here, what do you mean when you go out on a date? What do you expect when you go out on a date? Let me start with Serena.
Going on a date in Nigeria, in Akure, is totally different from going on a date in maybe Lagos or Abuja or maybe somewhere else. But in Akure, we even know all the places you can go to. There are really no places to go to. But when you're going on a date here,
what do you expect?
What do you expect in the date? The date is basically to go to a hotel and get drunk and eat suya, or go to the mall and see things, maybe because mall has turned to a sight and sound monumental area, and it's like a museum now that people just go and see.
What do you mean by a place you go and see?
Like sightseeing.
Like sightseeing.
Like a tourist
A tourist
attraction.
attraction, yes. Or you go to the cinema, and incidentally, a lot of things happen in the cinema.
Hallelujah.
Yes, like behind the seats, you get at the back. There's that back area. You cannot imagine the kind of things that happen there.
No, sorry. Let me chip this in. Our ideology of dates has evolved all over the world, thanks to films and movies that we watch. When you watch a movie, the guy and the lady, they go to a restaurant or wherever they want to go, a movie or wherever they choose. And the guy sees the girl off home, and when they get home with the music, there is this emotion that builds up, and then it's a kiss. And if one of them is able to control him or herself, it ends there. If they can't control, then they move to bed. Now, when you watch 20 films, 19 is like that. Now, it is registered.
Should we therefore blame the entertainer?
I'm not blaming the entertainer. It has registered into our subconscious that this is the way to do things. It doesn't matter whether it's right or wrong. That's not what I'm debating now. We have seen it over time, and then we feel it is an acceptable norm.
How can drugging a girl to rape her become an
That is where
acceptable
I am going to now. Let me land. A guy has that premonition that this is the way it should go, and then you discover that the lady is tend not to be moving towards that trail. You begin to wonder, maybe she is shy. I'm just
And so you
speaking.
help her along by drugging
I'm
her.
speaking using my mind as a writer now, not my personality. Let me help her to come round so that we can facilitate what we think should be the norm.
And that's why he said he thought she would like it.
You understand?
I agree with Mr. Ayokunle on that, because actually I've met a guy now who says that he's very happy when he takes a girl out and then she drinks or she's drinking. It's always like he's very, very happy when he sees a girl drinking, because it increases his chances of sleeping with her. So there's already a mindset that guys already have, that once you're taking a girl on a date, this is where it is going to end. So basically, they are looking for how to make sure they reach that.
Every other thing is to
Facilitate
that expected
that.
end.
And as well, girls too, they should not preempt them also. Okay, for example, if you are going out on a date with a guy and you expect him to spend all the bills, come on, what do you expect him to do? When he says do this, you have to do that. Well, you have to put up with whatever kind of crap he's giving you, unlike when you are also independent. So I think this thing goes for all ladies out there. You need to be able to stand for yourself. Don't let the guy pay all the bills. Like I said earlier, dates in Akure in Nigeria is different from the ones we see in the movies.
I like to talk to Jimmy here because she said something that was very interesting. What goes on in the back seats of cinema houses? Is that a predecision to what should happen after you leave the cinema house?
Thank you very much. I've been to Akure Cinema. I've seen a lot, especially when you like sitting at the back seats, like 3 seats to the last seat. There are a lot. Most of these girls, they bring on dates. It's not that we girls don't know that they can do such a thing. We know. It's something we even have it at the back of our mind, especially when please, I want to see you. You already know. Want to see me for what? I know where you are going to. But we tend to be saint or pretend as if, okay, just let me hear him out. Do you understand? So most times when they take them to cinema like that, everywhere is dark. Definitely. Like
and
that
has a bad case of wandering hands.
So that is when this touching from again, putting your hand at the back
Especially if you are
of
seeing a
his neck,
scary
of her
movie.
neck,
Well, you're
and
scared.
saying, talking. People are busy laughing. Even when the scene is not funny,
Yeah, you laugh.
you use the advantage to touch. And instead of the girl to at least tell the guy, at least calmly, that please, or maybe you're trespassing. Okay, just let me
If you feel
act
the
on.
boy is trespassing, there are places he does not have to touch, either because the movie is scary or the movie is funny. If you don't feel comfortable, for goodness sake, stand up and walk. We used to have dating guidelines in my age. are we saying that in this age, dating guidelines, you don't take a drink if it is not mixed in your presence. You don't go to a lonely place without somebody else being there. Tunde is panting and I'm sure he's anxious to say something. Don't you have dating guidelines, Tunde? Are there no rules to this date? Is it just anything can happen anytime, anywhere, even rape?
There are dating rules, yes. But the ladies of nowadays, most of them are into drugs. So, according to Dominic, it was expecting her to like it. I've seen ladies that smoke cannabis. I've seen ladies that take tramadol. I've seen ladies that take even things that able-bodied men cannot take.
I'm trying not to laugh, but I can't understand where you're coming from.
Yes,
Coochies,
they smoke
monkey tail,
marijuana, they take anything takeable, they take codeine, they take anything that anybody, they take it.
so even on a date, there are no rules.
There are no rules.
Yes, exactly.
There are no rules.
Because I understand what Mr. Tunde is trying to say. A lot of girls nowadays actually do drugs. So now you have to know the kind. And those drugs, they have different work that they work for.
Yeah.
For example, another tramadol, like you said, gives them energy and all. But codeine slows down the whole thing. So it doesn't make them want to, you know.
So when you take tramadol and you take codeine, you are fast and you are slow. Sometimes you're on slow motion, sometimes you're on fast forward.
Exactly. So you
Sometimes
start
you just go on
hallucinating.
preview. You just go to the back. Remember what happened in 2007 and you start remembering in 2018 and you start putting everything to reality. That is drugs.
So I don't blame guys, and again, girls, they ask for too much. I think every girl should try to be independent. It's not bad if a girl actually asks a guy on a date. I feel that personally. That's not bad. Yes, I will spend the money instead of you spending it on me, and then I have to do whatever you want me to do. I don't think that's bad, though.
You're listening to The Survivors, and I can tell you for a fact that today's episode, I have my mouth hanging down. I did not expect the kind of reactions I am getting, and
Let
I'm
me shock
wondering
you. Let me shock you.
if we're still talking
Wait,
about
let me
date
shock.
rape.
Let me shock you.
Please,
Let
don't
me
shock
shock
me,
you.
just tell me.
I have a friend who confessed to me that she likes it rough.
Hey,
Now, a guy who is probably a gentle guy,
we'll lose that girl.
will lose that girl.
So he has to learn how to be rough.
He has to learn how
That's
to
why
be rough.
Dominic said
That-
he expected Kate to like it rough.
You wrote this thing. You are using the mind. You are using the mind of a writer.
I
Because
wrote it because I had seen it, because I had heard about it, I had experienced it. Not for myself,
yes,
but I'd heard about girls saying they like it rough. But incidentally, Kate didn't want it rough.
now the problem.
Because she was talking to a gentleman.
The problem we have with most relationship nowadays is that we discuss a lot of things. We don't discuss sex.
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
We assume when it comes to the issue of sex. Now, I was discussing with that my friend. That was how we got into talking, and she told me, I love my sex rough. If my guy cannot give it to me rough, he should go. You understand?
In essence,
now,
she's not likely to complain of having been date raped.
she's not likely. Now, there are ladies, for example, if a guy likes it rough, me as a lady, I don't like it. I love it gentle. And then I'm dating a guy, and then we didn't discuss. And probably the day we now agree to have sex, or incidentally, or by chance, something happens. We're having sex, and the guy is now rough. To me, it is rape, because that's not the type of sex I want. So we need to also emphasize that when you are in a relationship and you guys are discussing, yes, discuss money, discuss the future ambition, discuss sex. What type of sex do you want?
Exactly.
What styles do you want? What can you do? Can you accommodate oral sex? No, I can't. I only want the normal. Talk about these
I
things.
agree with Mr. Ayokunle on that, actually. Lack of communication and mutual agreement between couples actually is very, very, very important. It's paramount in every relationship. Because, like what Mr. Ayokunle said, man, imagine Kate was raped and they were dating. Is that correct? She was dating the boy, and then he asked her out on it. She was expecting a proposal, actually. So that means they must have gotten to some level for her to be thinking of proposal. So nowadays, the way things are, before you get to that proposal level, most couples would have or must have had sex. Nowadays, or not like you're not in your own time.
Mr. Ogudu, welcome to The Survivors. We are two old squares. I have been wondering what I let myself into when we were doing this program. All the young persons around me have let loose what they thought.
As it is.
As it is. And I'm wondering, where am I standing? Am I actually getting what today's young persons? They don't seem to have sympathized with Kate. They seem to have said she's asking for it. What do you have to say?
You know, I think the truth is that there is a vacuum, actually. Date rape started in the US. You know, that's where the prevalence of it is, really. And then second thing is that date rape, again, is something that is mostly done amongst college students, teens.
That was then.
That was then, really. But you see, that's the base for it.
You mean in our culture, there's nothing like date rape?
We have that, but it is not in the perspective that we call it today. You know, a young college student invites his pair, come over, see me over at my room. You know, just that's the way it was. That's how it started. You know, because if you look at it, because that's why we must understand the mindset. If you look at it, you would understand that a total adult, the dynamics is different. Only
I'm
college.
still at sea.
Yes.
See, my issue is this: a girl goes out on a date with her boyfriend.
Yes.
Let's not get away from that bottom line. A girl goes out on a date. Like she said, she expected that they will make love. That's the word.
She was ready for something.
She
like
was
that, but
ready for something. She knew what the rules were, as it were, the unspoken rules of dating. The man follows that rule, asked to come to her house.
Dating
Probably
was in her house.
In her house. They had gone on a date.
Yes.
They had finished, and he was supposed to take her home. And he comes into the house.
Okay.
And then she mixes them a drink, a nightcap.
Exactly.
Lasting for the day. And he asks for a bottle of minerals. And she goes into the kitchen, most probably.
And then
By the time he comes back,
he had
has
done
spiked
the mixture.
Yes.
And you don't know what
And
he must
then-
have put in it.
Which is one of the rules she should have understood. You don't take a drink that you were not aware of when it was mixed. Even my young people around me are all nodding their heads in assent. You don't take a drink when you don't know when it was mixed.
But one of the things I would blame Kate for was that she
Like
also
the music of Olamide. But
Yes.
the bottom line I'm trying to get at is, why do we find it comfortable? The idea, why should Dominic find it comfortable after spiking her drinks? He has no way of knowing. She didn't know he was into drugs. She said so. She didn't know he was into drugs. He also didn't know that she would not like it rough. He made an assumption that, oh, maybe she would like it rough. He didn't check with her. When she slapped him, that's when he started apologizing. That's when it dawned on him
That he had done something wrong.
Yeah, I had done something wrong.
Yes.
Now, the bottom line, the issue I'm trying to stress here is it okay now in today's Nigeria? Selena has been stressing Akure is not the same as today's Nigeria.
she mentioned that earlier.
That's- But is it right now when young people go out on a date, it should end up in rape?
It is
the
total-
word is rape, not whether they agree to go to bed together.
It is
the
totally-
operative word I'm using here is rape.
Rape is bad. It is wrong. It is wrong, and there's no how we can paint it to make it look
So there's
good.
no way we can describe it.
We
We cannot
can't-
say because we dates, we knew each other, and just like it rough, that we should go ahead
It is-
and
it is-
rape
it
the
is
girl
wrong.
who
It's
has not given any idea that she's interested in that.
Yeah, but rape is wrong. I'm not saying that we can date, but rape is wrong. However we paint it, however it is colored, it is wrong. Most important thing is that I think both parties should be able to agree, and there should be consent. We
Exactly.
agree.
That's the point I'm making. There should be consent.
Yes.
It should have been understood. It should have been part of a conversation
Yes.
during the date or all other previous dates. See, Mrs. Roberts said something that was critical. He said, no, it was Banji Roberts who said, when he asked her to dress sexy, she should have been suspicious
Of what will happen.
of what could happen. Obviously, he was not in the habit of asking her to dress in a particular manner, except on that particular date that he asked her dress.
You would also notice that these individuals did not know themselves so much. They were just getting to know themselves. They were just getting to understand who they.
And so who do we blame? Kate, who should have been suspicious when a boyfriend you didn't know very well asks you, tonight is a special date, come and dress sexy. If I were me, I would have been wondering what is going to happen.
But you see, I think there's a lot that parents, there are a lot of things that you should also bring
We
down
talk
to the
now.
youth.
If they were listening, then Kate shouldn't have gone on a
No,
date.
but
She made sure her mother was not going to be home when she was supposed to have a chaperone.
Yes. No,
She made
but
sure her mother was not going to be home. So she was willing to allow him in. She said she knew what was to come. What she didn't plan on was being given a drug.
she's not aware of the realities of the day. So that's
Are all boys drug addicts now?
no.
One thing, I think Kate was at fault.
Uh-huh.
Kate was at fault because we could see where she was asking Tinu that my future husband will he mind if I was a virgin. Maybe she was insensitive.
She was just ignorant.
No, she was not.
Insensitive.
I think Kate was
this
ready.
guy might have been saying
She was ready,
something
but
like a
probably
virgin
she didn't
or something
expect
like
it.
that. Or maybe the guy's okay, fine. Let me even test. Maybe she's a virgin.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand? Because Tino asked that has he been asking something like that? I was like, not really. No is no. Which one is not really? Definitely there's something shady.
I think she was
about their
ready and
conversation
prepared
there.
for it. I think this problem goes to all the ladies out there because most girls, they will go out on a date, then agree to follow you out, follow you to your house. When it is 10 p.m., they will not go home. Oh. When it is 11 p.m., they will not go home. When it's now 11:45, they will not say, I want to be going home. Really? You've already given the guy a signal. You're giving him a wrong impression already, and most girls do that.
You see, Serena, that's why I was saying that our parents need to do a whole lot. Now, I think they should school their daughters, they should school their children about dating rules, dating guidelines. Because if they understand the principles, for example, why would a young girl not carry a pepper spray around?
We are getting something wrong.
Please let me chip in something.
Sorry, Kunle. We are getting something wrong about the mindset of Kate. From my own standpoint, Kate was ready for sex.
Exactly.
She
That's
was
the
ready
point.
for the date. The only thing Kate was not ready for was the drug.
Point. Please let me
Wasn't
comment.
ready for the drug. Now, the guy on the other part, that's why I said we need to discuss some of these things in the course of our relationship discussion. Don't just talk, what's your future ambition? I like to buy clothes, I like to buy.
Where
Let's
you
talk
going?
some realities of life.
Yeah.
When I was courting my wife, we discussed everything. The guy felt, how can I help this lady to comply more? That's why he used drug.
But you know, the guy was already running a script in his mind.
He was running a script. Let me tell you something. The lady had her own script. The guy had his own script. Two different scripts.
Which is not aligned.
That's why I say if they had been discussing, it would have been easy to align.
So one key point
So-
is that the young people who are coming into dating must always communicate.
They must
express
communicate,
themselves.
discuss,
Yeah.
talk to yourself. This is my standpoint on this issue. This is what I will not accept. This is what I will accept, and then now play by the rules.
One last point from Kunle before I have to round up. Please.
Okay, thank you very much. I think one thing I can elicit from the accumulation of what we have said so far is if we consider this particular episode, it says date rape. Now, I think going by this discussion, I can observe that the tentacles of the definition of rape is getting wider and wider. Here, the rape comes in when, the lady was ready, Kate was ready, Dominic was ready. So I can now say that the definition
It was
of
the
rape
process of
the
realization.
process, the way Kate would have wanted it was not the way she got it. So which means rape can come when you have a kind of style or a kind of way you want to have your sex, and
Excuse
the
me,
second-
I would like with all firmness to disagree. Rape strictly and simply is defined as having unwilling knowledge, carnal knowledge of another human being, could be male or female. The essence of why we called it date rape is Kate's opinion was not sought for by Dominic. Whether she was going to like it rough or otherwise, the operative word there would have been consenting, consensual. She should have consented. Then it would no longer be called rape. It will have been two people who want to have it with drug and rough. Mutual agreement. The fact that
Drug.
Dominic did not see the need to ask for her opinion, for
that
her
is what I'm
consent.
saying. The drug makes the
Whether
difference.
Kate was ready is irrelevant here. Kate is not to blame. We all kept saying Kate is to blame. No,
No,
she might have been
nobody is
ready for
blaming
sex.
Kate.
She knew what could happen, but he did not ask for her opinion. He did not ask for her consent. When it is not consensual, it is called rape. I would like to go on and talk, but I'm sure we will not be able to finish this argument today. Let the argument continue in our separate homes. Let us understand that this is wrong. The operative word we are looking at is there must be consent. Kate should have said yes. Either in her activity or in whatever way she presented herself, she should have said yes. The fact that she said she watched herself go limp. I'd like to thank everyone for coming on this particular issue. It's been very exciting. I was not expecting all the reactions I got. It got under the skin of all of us. So thank you, Ayo Kule, for being on this program. Thank you, Jumi, for being on this program. Thank you, Serena. Thank you, Dunsi, Tunde, Kunle Oluyide, and Mr. Ogudo. And of course, I have not forgotten Sheung Olajorin, always here with us. Thank you for being. To the Survivors, a program on rape, sexual violence, and domestic violence. It will come up every Wednesday from 12:15 p.m. to 1 p.m. on this station, Breeze FM 91.9. Tune in, send your messages, be one with us. Rape is a stain on humanity. Let's stop and act against all issues of rape. Like we've always said, if you do have questions, thoughts, suggestions, please send text to WhatsApp 0803 472 3894. Would like to thank our sponsors, Robert Uttaro and friends, who have gathered around to ensure that we can have this program. Like we've always said, if you do have questions, thoughts, suggestions, please send text to WhatsApp 0803 472 3894. I'd like to thank Oluwaseun Olajorin for being the hand on the button, peaceful, patient, and enterprising for all the time we spent together. This is Biola Ola today. I'll see you next week.